So today is the cockle-doodle-doo 1. Arsenal 4. And we are the foremost team in the league right now, top of the league. What a response, although saying that, the first 50 minutes or so of that game was looking a little bit spooky. Tottenham new manager bounce. They were bullying us at times in that game. We looked shook. We looked like rabbits in the headlights. Yeah, Kenny, make sure you follow Kenny Ken 1972 on Insta. Kenny, I'll be real. Yeah, we took the lead. Eze again, ole. Yeah, and then after that, yeah, we were just so poor at times. In fact, we were poor in lead up to that game. The game was dead. Yeah, and then, yeah, Pape Sarr, lucky bounce to Bakayo. Yeah, and then he got his head up, whipped it, Eze touch, bang. What is it with Eze scoring against Spurs? We'll get back to that in a sec. Then after that, Eze's let it all work out. 24 seconds later, after Declan has been talking in the media all week. Yeah. In fact, since the Brentford game, if you can't win, don't lose, then he's saying we all need to stick together. Then he F's around and finds out. Then he's laughing, maybe a nervous laugh. Yeah. Then he's telling everyone focus. Then we go 2-1 up. Fantastic. Cheers, mate. Then we caught life. Yeah, because the fake bad man, as my old man calls him, yeah, Gabriel Magalhaes, the fake gangster. Yeah, I've had more contact in Mercadona walking down the aisle, yeah, than Gabby had. And we caught life in that game. I don't think the ref was great, but that's whatever. Yeah, he weren't great for both teams. Then that was a wake-up call. Yeah, Declan came out second half. I thought he was outstanding. Yeah, the centre-backs for that first goal were a disgrace. The goalkeeper made a mad save off the line. But my striker, Kenny, my striker, yeah, done his job today. Trossard, I thought, was the worst player on the pitch. Yeah, Saka, I thought, was the best player in the first half, although the bar weren't really high. However, yeah, we were up against it today, and we've had a lot of backlash in the media, yeah, with us as fans on the internet, all over the world. Yeah, there was a lot of pressure on that game today. Yeah, and I'll give credit to Tottenham. They've got a lot of injuries, new manager, yeah, and they really gave it a go in the first half. However, yeah, after that goal was disallowed from Mawani, yeah, we said, nah, not today, mate. What did you make of that, Kenny?
You know what? It was men against boys. But what's happening is that there's no giving to football. You've got to remember one thing. They're rivals and we owe them nothing. We've just seen earlier today, Sheffield United have just relegated Sheffield Wednesday because Sheffield Wednesday were deducted 18 points in a derby match. Sheffield United showed Arsenal away how to treat the rivals when they're on their knees, because that's exactly what Spurs would have done. I remember 93, we had the kids out and Spurs were ruthless and absolutely murdered us. Beat us 3-1 just before the FA Cup final. We got to do the same today. From the kickoff, we were just at them. Couldn't. It was a case. It was a case of, you know what? We couldn't even, how do I say it, miss today in terms of like the passing or getting bodies forward. Saka had, played really well. You know, like I said, he had that back three on toast. Eze was finding space. Your Yokeres was just like was very clever in the way he said, right, drag us in. I'm having you today. Sometimes you don't get these opportunities. The Wolves have no opportunities to sort of like get in behind them, dominate the game. Tottenham digs, and we took advantage. Very good goal by Eze. Where he just, like I said, got his chance, flips it over on the volley, goal, and then Declan Rice again. One thing about that, I was going to kill him, but afterwards he redeemed himself. But it was really, really silly because I think when the game was looking too easy, gave Spurs some equaliser, and after that, we had the situation where second half, Wake Fitzyorker took his goal. You can't knock it. I mean, Timber's put a cross in. That should have been cleared. Goiker has held the ball up, bang, in the bottom corner. Then another mistake by Spurs. Drag us in again, and then Eze makes it 3-1. And after that, I know it's an awful thing to say because at the end of the day, kids are watching. but Spurs' arse fell out. Their arse actually fell out.
Yeah,
All of
facts.
the only players that for Spurs who actually looked like they wanted it was Yavi Simmons. Even Solanke when he came didn't want to know. Richarlison, who always works on, looked like he wanted to know. But it's one of those things where we
The only
exploit his
other one,
spot.
sorry to cut over you, sorry, unless you're Cam, yeah?
Yeah.
Only other one I thought wanted it, yeah? But and I know he had a bit of a stinker, he got a bloody nose and he got bullied for the Yokeres second goal. Archie Gray actually tried to do.
Yeah, Archie.
Yeah.
And Jed, and
Other than
Jed
that,
Spence did all right.
Jed Spence
did all
tried
right.
as well. But
Yeah,
other
but the
than that,
fact is-
they were poor, Kenny.
Yeah, but it was at least they tried a bit harder like than they did at the Emirates where they were equally poor. Remember it was a 4-1 there, but they were abysmal. This time it's just like it was like we're playing their third team. But it doesn't matter. You've got to take your opportunities whilst they arise. It's still North London derby. They still had 62,000 fans there. And the only thing we lost is that's the game we needed because let's just say you've got to sort of put Wigan to bed because Wigan are Wigan. They're third division team. But the game that really mattered was Wolves and Brentford, where we weren't great. We got dominated by Brentford and we let Wolves back in the game. But this team took our advantage. You know what? It helps. It's a derby. There's no way our fans are going to let us get away with that. But praise should be given where it's due. Goicoechea took advantage of the space, rare space he gets in this league, the rare opportunities to get out of his feet. He was a menace all game. All game was a menace.
He was class today.
He was a menace all game, and then obviously Esse as well. He thrives in space. Saka's thrived in space. And sometimes in games like this, where every game's a must-win, put them to the sword. That's what we did. It wasn't a case where we waited for our marks. We just absolutely mullered them. They made mistakes all over the pitch, and we won all the second balls, and that's what we do when you try to dominate a game. It was an easy win. The scoreline wasn't unjust. It could have been more. It could have been more.
Could have been more.
I think we had the fast course. In fact, do you remember when after about 10 minutes when we were mullering them, we had the fast of the 8-minute delay because
and then we had it again at the start of the second half.
We had it again and again. So the referees, malfunctioning IT helped Spurs get back in the game because let's face it,
killed the momentum.
It killed our momentum.
Minutes, yeah.
It killed our momentum, but then we scored, and then Spurs got back into it because then Craig got them into it. But it was a great pleasure seeing the empty seats, them walking out.
Yeah, 75 minutes they were bowling out.
It's a pleasure. And realistically, I said on the podcast yesterday when I was on with Chris Callan, great mate of mine as well. First one I said to him was, "Look, you're not getting relegated," and I still believe that. But in order to cement the situation, you need to get some of your players back, even if they're half fit. If Kudus has got a thigh problem, so I don't know. If he's about 60% fit, get him in the field. Kulusevski, again, if he's about 50%, get him on the field just as a presence because there's a lot of inexperience out there and a lack of leadership. They've really, really, really effed this up at Spurs in terms of like their recruitment or lack of it and not trying to get top players. And I said that on their show, but this is an Arsenal show. We've got to remember one thing. We had this, how we performed in this derby was similar to Leeds away. Now, after Leeds, we had Sunderland where we absolutely mullered them in between Sunderland. We had the game against Chelsea, we got through the cup. But then reality kicked in. Now, is this the sign of our renaissance? Or is this a sign that we just beat a shit team? And that against Chelsea, who are better than Spurs in every department, are we going to be able to lift ourselves and play better again? And then afterwards, we've got Brighton. Brighton actually did to Brentford what we should have done, absolutely mullered them. So these are two hard games. Let's not forget, if Man City win their game in hand, and if Man City, like I said, beat us, it'll be level of points. We don't know what the situation will be in terms of goal difference. So there's a situation now where we have to put them under pressure. We have to make them try and win every game. They shouldn't be back in the title race. We should be 11 points ahead. But you know what? It's a North London derby, and I'm not going to suck the joy out of all our enjoyment. I'm going to suck the joy out of your enjoyment, Jez's enjoyment, and anyone else, because at the end of the day, it's what we're all about. I consider Spurs as my rivals, and And I will consider, letting them off because they beat Spurs, the team I hate more than anything else. Yes, I understand where you're coming from. You're completely 100% right in saying, come on, really? They're crap. The goalkeepers not all that. They were depleted, and we bullied the depleted side. But it's still a North London derby, and you've got to celebrate a win at that ground.
Yeah, and that's the 4 times in a row we've beaten them away. Yeah, they weren't looking likely when they equalised. Yeah, and like I said, I'll be real. Declan spoke a lot of talk all week. Yeah, this manager spoke a lot of talk all week.
Yes.
Yeah, our captain came on today. I don't think he was outstanding, but that one thing he did was pass the ball forward through the centre, and our striker held him off. Bang, Eze. The only thing I'll say about Eze, yeah, is I'm gutted he got subbed because I think, and I may be wrong, chat, let us know. If he had scored back-to-back hat-tricks in his first 2 games against Tottenham, I think he'd be the first player in our history to do that. So I was gutted he came off, but at the same time, get Odegaard back up to speed. Yeah, but that was a big statement today because the pressure was mounting.
Yeah, but the question is,
pressure
though,
was mounting. After
the question is, though, Lee. The question
we
is,
had
though,
to win
Lee.
that, Kenny. And the way we did that second half was emphatic. I can't lie.
The question is, though, Lee. We haven't got a game for about another 7 days. Morally, do you pick that same team against Chelsea? Obviously, you're not going to play Timber, but do you play Mosquera in that right
where's
back
Benny
role?
Blanco?
Well, he's an injury waiting to happen.
We need another right back in the summer, Kenny.
Whatever happens, we're going to need a lot of changes.
Mosquera was class when he came on, by the way.
Yeah, Mosquera.
That was a great sub by the manager.
Yeah, great sub because he's played a player who basically is essentially he's very unlucky not to play in a team. He's done essentially nothing
been
wrong.
Brilliant when he's played.
Yeah, and that's
again
the
with Hincapia.
Hincapia was fantastic. Hincapia played really well today. He understood the situation.
He was outstanding.
But you
know what I like about him, Kenny?
Yeah.
Sorry to cut over you. Do you know what I like about him? Yeah. He gets the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he keeps it simple. Then he gets up and down. He's like a more physical. And when I say physical, I hate the word physical.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? Look at the way they all fall over. Yeah. Right. But he's up and down Kieran Tierney. He'll get the ball touch cross, but he can go back the other way and he can defend. Yeah. He set up that chance. Yeah. The Saliba put wide. I thought that was in. Yeah. Off the corner. Yeah, the first corner we had, I think. Yeah, and Capia heads it back, Saliba missed. Then I was like, how's that not in? If that was Gabby, it's a goal. But I'd sign him in the summer, which means that Skelly and or Calafiori are surplus to requirements at left back.
No, it's going to be Mars Lewis Skelly.
Yeah, probably.
So Mars Lewis Skelly's got
English tax will get more money.
But I think Mars Lewis Skelly may have a future in midfield. I know that when we played Mansfield, it's a given. It's probably a no-brainer that he's going to play in that midfield because there's actually no reason not to try him there.
Well, we tried to do that, but then obviously Calafiori got injured, didn't he, in the previous game against Wigan? But Kenny, that was the statement win today. Yeah, and it weren't looking likely. It weren't looking likely after about 53 minutes when they had that goal disallowed.
All right, if you want to call it a statement win, then fair enough. But why don't we just be realistic and just say we beat who we should be beating? We beat a very depleted side. We smashed it to pieces.
No, I mean, banged all season at home. With a new manager, a fuck ton of players.
But what we need to do is that let's make sure this is a full storm. That's what we should. That's how we should look at it.
Facts.
Because remember, we've been there before. Let's not forget. Villa, we smashed Villa to pieces, and then we had the 2 draws and defeat, and then we smashed Leeds to pieces, beat Sunderland in a very good performance, and then we had the 2 draws. We've got to remember one thing: it's just that we don't want this sort of like higgledy-piggledy football where it stop-start, great performance, and then 2 draws. But that's probably how it's going to go because I can guarantee you now. Chelsea and Brighton are not going to be as bad as Spurs were today. But you know what? Enjoy it. Call your Spurs mates. Give them hell.
I tried. I called X. He never answered. Rants ended his stream early at 4-1. As soon as it went 4-1, he quit. Yeah,
Don't
and
blame it. Well,
I've
yeah,
tried phoning Dusty Deji, and Dusty Deji didn't answer either. So
yeah. So yeah,
it's what it is,
carry on.
man. Listen, it's the
Yeah.
history of the Tottenham, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but not too funny, right? One thing as well. They're still in the Champions League, and stranger things still happen. Do you know what I mean?
We see that last season. Get him safe, Kenny. Love you,
All
Kenny.
right,
Ken,
speak to you later.
1972. Yeah, I think Villarreal about to get a penalty for handball VAR check against Valencia.
Well, yeah.
This game's been end to end. 8 minutes of stoppage time in the first half. Get him safe.
Yeah.
We'll do this all over again on the 1st of March.
Well,
against
Chelsea. Yeah, that's the game I'm really looking forward
And
to.
it ain't a knockout game, so he's going to come with a different setup. And hopefully, we can all reset 7-8 days off. Yeah, and we can come out there a bit more refreshed because at times we were mad sloppy today. However, they're crap, and they've always been crap your entire life and my life as well, Kenny. Love you, man.
Look at
See
that.
you tomorrow
Love you
for the
too.
podcast.
See you tomorrow for the podcast.